Good morning, Radio World. You're tuning to Ecolife on your Hot 97.8 FM dial. I'm your host, Demir Green, the man in green, always living clean, with my lovely co-host, Crystal CC Query.
Morning, Jamaica.
We're here at our live outside broadcast, which is held at the Hope Botanical Gardens, where NEPA is promoting the sustainable development.
People, come on out and join us in embracing our theme. Live today for a better future.
Come on out, listeners. It's the annual celebration of the World Sustainable Development Week. To start off our morning, we'll be talking to 3 of the most scholastic students from the Caribbean Maritime Institute who are also taking part in an environmental club at CMI and also doing a sustainable development course at the institution. With me today we have Miss Janelle Ambersley.
Morning, Jamaica.
Miss Tomika Collins,
Good morning, Jamaica.
who is studying logistics and supply chain management, and Miss Shelly Shahadin,
Good morning, Radio World.
who is studying port management.
For those of our listeners who don't know, the Caribbean Maritime Institute is the premier educational system, premier educational institution in the Western Hemisphere for seafaring and marine studies.
We are sure to educate the public about sustainable development and sustainability. Miss Haddon, we'll start with you, as you seem so eager to talk to listeners of Ecolife. What does sustainable development and sustainability mean to you?
Okay, I'm assuming everyone here is familiar with the Brundtland Report.
Yes, we are.
Okay, but for those of us in Jamaica who is not familiar with the Brundtland Report, it is also known as the Our Common Future. Was a report implemented by the United Nations in 1987, which encompasses the issues of sustainable development and how we go about addressing these issues. Now, the Brundtland Report explains sustainable development to be the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Now, what this is saying is that sustainable development is the act of protecting the Earth's resources so that our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren have the perks to utilize these resources in the future. However, sustainability is the method or the avenue you choose to achieve economic growth, and this method must be one that can be continued uninterruptedly forever without having any negative effect on the environment for future generations. So you see, sustainable development borrows from sustainability, in that what we're trying to do is develop oneself to meet our needs and our future needs without harming the future generation to meet their own needs.
Thank you, Ms. Haddon. That was a very vivid approach in distinguishing between the two terms. But could you shed some light on the history of sustainable development?
Of course! In 1972, Gro Harlem Brundtland, the Prime Minister of Norway, saw the need to implement the Brundtland Report. The Brundtland Report, also known as the Common Future, it was the first official document used to address sustainable development. However, the Brundtland Report only focused on environmental issues and to a lesser extent economic issues. But they later on realized that environmental development and economic development cannot work without social development. Now, when economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and social sustainability are utilized equally, then that is when you achieve total sustainable development. In 1999, the UN developed the Agenda 21. It was used to monitor the consumption level and production patterns within the environment, because they realized that the demand for the Earth's resources was increasing and the population on Earth was increasing, but the ability for the Earth to provide was declining. Then later on, 5 years later, they implemented a protocol or adopted this protocol, the Kyoto Protocol, used to manage the amount of greenhouse gases emitted in the atmosphere, because they realized that global warming and climate change was becoming a universal issue. In 1999, the UN drafted up 8 goals to be fulfilled by 2015, right? The Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, This was implemented to help improve the lives of the world's poorest people. Now, all these documents were implemented for one reason and one reason alone, and that is to help achieve total sustainable development.
Thank you, Miss Haddon.
You're so welcome.
I understand that there is strong and weak sustainability. Ms. Ambersley, would you please do me the honor of defining these terms?
Sure. As it pertains to weak and strong sustainability, weak sustainability speak on natural capital and human capital, which weak sustainability speaks about human capital can be substituted by natural capital. For example, coal mining and is used to substitute for electricity. The natural resource coal is used to replace by the manufactured capital, which is electricity. The electricity is then used in domestic life quality such as cooking, lighting, eating and refrigeration. Contrary to weak sustainability, strong sustainability assumes that human capital and natural capital are complementary but not interchangeable.
Thank you, Ms. Ambersley. Could you identify any ongoing events that speak to weak sustainability?
Okay. The Negril soil erosion from the coastal line. They're implementing a breakwater project to solve the solution. They're putting huge rocks in the sea along with coastal line, which will act as a barrier between the wave and the beach.
Thank you, Ms. Ambersley.
Ready?
Ms. Collins, I know that there's a system approach to sustainable development. Could you please enlighten the listeners the need to embrace the system approach in pursuit of sustainable development?
Sure. First, I will start with a quote from Albert Einstein that once said, "The significant problem we face cannot be solved at the level of thinking we were at when we created them." End of quote. Often, with the basics, with the best of intention, we have tried to solve. End of quote. Often, with the best of intention, we have tried to solve a problem using unsystematic solution, which will result in unsustainability and will create bigger problems. For instance, the fishing industry may find it economical to use the finest net to catch majority of the fish, but at the same time they are depleting the fish in the sea. Now, once we start to see the whole system, we think differently about how to solve the problem. System thinking forces us to look at the big picture and solve the problem at its root. Hence, the need to embrace a system approach in pursuit of sustainable development is very crucial.
Thank you, Ms. Collins.
We'll have a little discussion explaining the value of Jamaica or any other country employing a mixture of strong and weak sustainability programs to facilitate its development. So what are your views, Ms. Haddon?
Okay. Well, I know majority of the people will lean towards strong sustainability as the better avenue. But I personally think the act of a weak sustainability is a great improvisation for a country. I'm aware that the earth heals itself, but how long will it take? Going back to the example of Negril, if we sit and wait on the earth to heal itself, where would the shorelines be? Will there even be any shorelines? I personally think that the Breakwater Project is a good way to improvise to help protect the shorelines. Employing weak sustainability is absolutely necessary, in my opinion.
And you, Janelle?
For me, we need a combination of both weak and strong sustainability to facilitate the development worldwide. Having strong sustainability alone will only enhance the environment. It aims to enhance the economy and increase the quality of life. As such, we need both weak and strong.
What are your views, Tamika?
Well, I have to say that I completely agree with Ms. Ambersley. Countries can combine strong and weak sustainability to facilitate development through the aid of the Dali Rule, which states that the scale of a human activities in the biosphere should not be limited to the level that is within the carrying capacity of the natural capital. It also states that the harvesting rate should not exceed the regeneration rate, and non-renewable natural resources should be exploited no faster than the rate of creation of renewable substitutes.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing your views on sustainable development and sustainability and strong and weak sustainability and also system approach. We'll now take a short commercial break. After we get back, we'll be talking to a representative from NEPA who will be sharing her remarks on sustainable development. And we're back. Well, good morning, Miss Green. Looking all busy and you know, listeners. Back in the day, man, we know each other for a very long time. Miss Green, what are your views on sustainability?